Okay, welcome everyone. I'm so pleased to have you join us on a Friday night for drinks and nibbles. What a nice way to get together. I hope you've got a drink and some nibbles with you as you're joining us, something to celebrate the end of the week. But what we'll do, we are the Hamilton Heroes or the Thermo Heroes, and I'm Heather Downey. And I will pass to the lovely Jenny to get us started. Welcome.
Hi everyone, welcome to our class. I'm going to do a couple of nibbly food hot things, so just to get it off, and they take a little bit longer than the other ones. They're a bit quicker, so I'm doing them both back to back. So I'm going to start with the vegetarian sausage rolls. Can you put in the chat whether anyone's made this, because this is an amazing recipe. If you haven't tasted it before, you can't actually tell that there's not meat in it. I've already set it up in my daily calendar for today because we're a little bit time limited, so I'm just going to get straight into it and start. I've already preheated the oven to 200 degrees and I've already lined my baking trays. I'm actually using one of the lovely rose gold trays. I'm going to use this one. This is the tiniest one. I got this as a gift, and oh sorry, my phone's going flat, so James has just put my little extension cord in. Thank you, James. And then for the chicken balls, I'm going to use the medium-sized one, which I've got as well. But they're so beautiful, those trays. And they've also got the little liner as well, so you don't need to worry about baking paper. Who runs out of baking paper all the time? So much better for the environment. So I'm going to put an onion, which I've just cut into halves, into there. That was about 180 grams, and I'm going to chop that up. So turn up the speed fry for 3 seconds. I'm not sure how many customers we've got on here and how many non-owners we've got on, but one of the amazing things about the Thermomix is how easy it chops up onions. So that was 3 seconds. Now I'm going to add some dried oregano. That's the Canadian influence. I shared a house with a Canadian friend, and then we just went there a couple of years ago, and I'm talking like a and then this is one of the secret ingredients, so 100 grams of walnuts. And also some rolled oats, so that's 90 grams.
Have you ever used any other nuts, Jen, or just the walnuts?
There's actually some pecans in there.
Okay.
So I think this is the first time. I don't think it's going to matter because it's more the that oily, nutty consistency that you want. Okay, and turn up to speed 6 to chop it up.
Lucy said that she's used sunflower seeds to make them safe for school.
Oh, okay, for nut-free. Perfect.
Okay.
That's good for people with allergies. So you can see that consistency there. It's looking a little bit meat-like. Roll oats in there to thicken it up. Scrape down the sides again. Now I'm going to add 3 eggs, which I've got in there. The thing you don't really show in a cooking class is how easy it is to just do your ingredients straight from like crack an egg in there, straight from the packet back into the cupboard. But because it's a cooking class, you have to be a bit more organised. Then 150 grams of feta cheese, and I've just chopped that into 3 centimetre pieces. And then a tablespoon of tamari sauce or soy sauce. And then I'm going to measure this out. I'm doing 50 grams of fresh breadcrumbs, but I've got breadcrumbs in my next recipe as well. So I just need to measure this one in. And I had already done it because of the time, but seriously, if this was a few slices of bread, it can be any sort of bread that you use. So if you're gluten-free, gluten-free bread. If you're a yeast bread, like me, you do sourdough bread. Breadcrumbs, and then we're going to put the lid on. Turn it to 5 again for 20 seconds. This is our mixture already. That's it, ready to go into the puff pastry. So what I'll do is just do one lot now, and then I'll do the chicken hors d'oeuvres, and then I'll go back once the other girl's cooking, and I'll finish them off and put them in the oven. Sorry, I'm racing so much. I just want to make sure. So I'm going to turn this phone down a little bit so you can see me doing that. So you can even make your own puff pastry if you're adventurous. Mine was not on my side today, so I'm just going to use the pre-prepared one. So all you do is just line, like as you would if you've made ordinary sausage rolls, just put it along the pastry, and then we're going to roll it up.
I remember the first time I made these, and I think it was your recommendation, Jen, and I couldn't believe how real they tasted.
Yeah, you actually can't believe it's so good. I'm just going to put a little bit of milk on the edge of that, just so that it sticks. Actually a little bit wetter, I think, because I've used 70-gram eggs in this instead of 60, and it's just a little bit wetter the mixture than usual. I'll just cut it into 4. You can actually do it however you want, but I'm going to do it into 4. Pinch those ends a bit, and then I'll just put them on there. Brush them with a bit more milk. And then sprinkle them with sesame seeds. You don't have to do that if you've got allergies to that. Do poppy seeds, you don't have to do anything. I love sesame seeds. So you'll see that after it's cooked a bit later. I'm just going to leave it over here. So quickly move on. Oh, thank goodness I've got a second bowl, because this is when it comes into its own. When you're busy in the kitchen and I've got lots going on, and I've got another bowl here that's all clean, ready to go. There's lots of advantages to having a second bowl, not just to be organised like this, but if you're going between a wet and a dry food, if you've got allergies in the house, yeah, lots of reasons, lots of advantages. I can't imagine my life without a second bowl now, and we've got that fantastic offer at the moment. I'm going to go back to my home page, and then I'm going into my week, which is where I put both these recipes, and I'll just call up the herb chicken hors d'oeuvres and start cooking. Telling me that I'm about to quit a recipe, but I do need to quit my active recipe. So I'll go, yes, we've already preheated the oven, so the same temperature as the sausage roll, so I can cook them at the same time. And I've already lined my tray. Okay, so now I'm going to put in all the herbs at the beginning here. So I'm going to put some parsley, and then I'm going to put some other herbs as well, and some spring onions, which I've just trimmed, and then 150 grams of brown onion. So I'll put all that in there. We're going to chop all that up. So it's going to go to speed 7 for 3 seconds. Actually only got one. Brand new that's for 6. I've got lots of old ones. So scraping down the sides. Oh my gosh, the smell here is beautiful. So all those beautiful herbs are chopped up, and the onions. So I put a bit of sage in there as well. It said you could put any herbs in there. I had parsley, sage, and rosemary and thyme. No, I didn't have all of them. I did have a bit of coriander. So I've done a bit of a funny mixture.
Chilies or anything, couldn't you, in with that?
Could use anything, yeah, whatever taste you want. So this is doing a double chop. You do have to be careful sometimes. Sometimes it'll just tell you to go on to your second chop, and sometimes you actually miss that. It's just about scraping down the sides, getting it all down in the middle again. I'm just going to grab my chicken out of the fridge. How many people mince their meat? Put it in your chat because it's quite interesting to know. And if you hadn't even thought you could do it, it's a great way to know what you've got in your meats for start. It can be a bit cheaper as well because you can buy good meat, you know, when it's on special, and then it'll last longer as well, the meat, than an actual processed mince will. I've already measured this, so I'm just going to put it in. And it's also the other key to this is to have it partially frozen. It just minces better. So it's in sort of about 3 centimetre cubes. And that's just breast fillet there.
I remember, Jenny, being at a demo with you, and there was like a retired butcher there. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always stuck in my mind. He recommended always mincing your own meat.
Yeah, yeah. When you taste it, you can actually taste the difference. So now we're going to mince that up. So on speed 7 for 6 seconds. Scrape down the sides again. I'm going to show you because that's just like minced it all right down, and I barely even need to scrape down the sides, do I? It's just a little bit of herbs. So that's turned into mince. See, if it wasn't frozen, it actually gets a bit watery. If you and sometimes sort of sticks around the blade, so that's why it's a better idea to have it a bit frozen. Now we're going to add some more feta. So this is where it's also good to because how many times do you throw out half of your feta because you don't use it before, or it's too far gone. So I'm going to put 90 grams there, which I've already measured out. And then the other lot of breadcrumbs, which was 60 grams. And then some salt and pepper. That's just ground black pepper and some salt. And then put the lid on again. And you'll notice that I've got the reverse blade on there now because we're just really stirring it. Don't want to chop it anymore, and I'm going to turn it to speed 5. So on the sticks, it just automatically does that. If the recipe says to go into reverse, it'll just do it for you. Okay. Now I'm going to form this into, this is where it gets a bit messy. I'm just going to give that another stir actually. and maybe it's better I'm not saying it. And it's still a little bit firm. So I'm going to actually change the recipe a tiny bit. I'm going to go back to, I'll go back to this. Yeah, I'll go back. So I'm going to take it off reverse and just give it a little chop because I just feel like it just needs a little bit more. And I'll just put it up. Yeah, that's better. So before that, it didn't actually do anything with the feta cheese. I think it was just a bit firm for the recipe. So I'll just quickly show you the first bit, and then we might go to on there. You can come back to me at the end. I'm just washing my hands again before I do this.
That's such a quick mixture, isn't it, to whiz up?
It probably helps to have slightly wet hands as well for this. Now, can you see? Yeah, just see that one there. Yeah. So I've wet my hands a little bit, and I'm just going to shape it into balls. It says 4 centimetre balls. I don't know. Is that about 4 centimetres?
How big are the circles on the tray line are meant to be?
Yeah, well, I think that's like the diameter and not the, I don't know. I'll see how that goes. So I'll just keep doing it, and then I'm going to put it in the oven.
Fabulous. Thanks, Jen. They look great.
And we'll see you after.
All right. Thank you. Well, we'll pass over to Kerry.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. First of all, I'm going to apologise because I have a 5-year-old and he likes to put his face in when there's a Zoom. So hopefully he will behave and not do that, but I apologise in advance. Tonight I am doing, it's called the melted brie with basil and lemon pesto. Now this is on cookie dough, but if you don't have cookie dough and you've got the awesome festive flavour cookbook, this is it here. It looks yummy, doesn't it? So I have done this before. I've made this before and it is delicious. So you may not be able to see my screen too well just because of the light and the evening, but I will just go ahead and I'll show you how easy it is. So we're just going to start cooking. So it asks to place a jug onto the mixing bowl and then add into 30 grams of vegetable oil. I've just already done that. You don't really need a jug, just anything small there. Put that aside. And then we're just going to pop in. Where is it? It's asked for half a lemon zest only, no white pith, 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, and then also 2 garlic cloves. So I've got all of that already in here. So I'm just going to pop that all in there. And then I'm going to pop that in the bowl. And then that is going to turn that to, it's going to mill that. I'm going to scrape down that sides, and then it's asking for 40 grams of lemon juice. So just scrape down the sides. 40 grams of lemon juice, which I have already weighed out. So pop that in there. Okay, and roasted pine nuts. Now, I didn't realize how much more expensive roasted pine nuts are than normal pine nuts. So what I did is I just bought normal pine nuts and I sort of toasted them a bit. Now you can do it in the oven, but I always seem to be able to burn things in the oven. So I just popped it into the Thermomix. So what you do is you can pop them into the Thermomix, pop them on for 5 minutes. The temp is Varoma, on reverse, and just the little wooden spoon, like speed soft. So that is a little tip on how to toast your pine nuts. So you save half the money. So we're just going to pop in 100 grams. Done that. And then 20 grams of fresh basil leaves. Oh, sorry if my camera's going up and down. My little one is knocking it, going into the fridge. So we've got some basil leaves. And then a pinch of salt, or just a little. That smells amazing already. In there, so this is going to be our little pesto. Okay, we're going to scrape that down again.
Has anyone not made pesto in their Thermomix yet?
I know, it's so good, isn't it? Okay, so without the measuring cup, it's asking. And then it's, sorry. Okay. So what we're going to do, okay, so turn speed to select 3. And what I'm going to do now is add that reserved oil, excuse me, in here. No. Oops. Oh, sorry. Okay. So you can do that sort of however long you want. You can just keep checking it. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm so sorry about this. Okay. Oh, yum. So that looks pretty good to me. If you want it a bit more longer, you can pop that in. So it's just going to transfer that aside into a bowl. I've actually done this pesto. There's one that you can do. It's a salmon dish, and it's on. It makes the pesto with almonds, which is probably a bit more affordable. Do you know that one, Heather? The one with the salmon and the
Broccoli pesto?
Yeah.
And it has spinach instead of the basil, but I like it with basil. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like it with basil, but it's in winter. It's really hard to, get your basil.
It's a great dish.
So I'm going to pop that aside. Now, the good thing is, don't we love it when it says do not clean the bowl? Excellent. We love that. It doesn't say that, but it doesn't say don't clean it. So let's get weigh in 500 grams of water. So, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to use our Varoma. So who is using their Varoma? The Varoma is such a valuable piece. I use it a lot. So we're going to use this Varoma tonight. So if you haven't used it, or you're not game enough, just maybe try this dish because you'll be able to use it. So we've popped in our 500 grams of water. We're going to pop the dish into position. Now we're going to line the baking tray, the Varoma tray, with baking paper. Now you can just cut some baking paper, but how good are these? These are one of my favorite things in the mix shop, the Varoma trays. The Varoma liners. So there's 2 lots. There's one lot that is got holes in it. So I'll use that if I'm steaming, veggies and things like that. And then you've got the plain one. So this is really good on your top tray when you're doing like omelettes or some sort of eggs like that. So I'm just going to pop that in the bottom of my Varoma. And then we're going to pop in the brie. So 125 grams of brie or camembert. So I like brie better than camembert. So we're just going to pop that in the bottom of the dish like that. Not sure if you can see that. So you're going to pop that in like that. And then you're going to insert your Varoma tray. I keep losing everything.
Well, really, you don't need it, Kaz, because of the tomatoes. So, oh, you got them.
Oh, yes, I have. Yes. So we're going to insert that Varoma tray. And then you're going to weigh 250 grams of cherry tomatoes. It says on the vine, or grape tomatoes on the vine. Yes. So when I did my box divvy today, the other day, I forgot to order them. So I had to get some from Woolworths, but then I realized I didn't have the vines. However, I did find some in my fridge and they're perfect still. So it just you don't have to use them with the vines. It just makes it nice for when you're dishing up. But I've got a mixture of those, so I'm going to pop them on there. And then we're going to pop the lid on. And that's it. So now we're going to steam that for about 14 minutes. And then we'll come back. I'll plate it all up ready to show you. And I'm very excited because that's going to be my dinner tonight. So, yeah, so this is a really nice, and you saw how quick and easy, and being able to use your Varoma, you know, especially if you're not using it, it'll give you a bit more confidence.
Ordinarily, to melt the cheese like that, you would be turning the oven on, wouldn't you? So to be able to do
Well,
that
that's
as aroma.
Yeah, so this is and that's great in summer because you don't want it. You know, one thing good about the Thermomix is that you know, in summer when you've got all that heat, the last thing you want to do is turn your oven on. So you know, the Thermomix is perfect for that. So,
Yeah, great for entertaining. Thanks, Kez.
that's
All right, I think it's time for a cocktail. Jody, are you ready? I'll pass over to Jodes. You're muted. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Am I good to go now?
You are.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Jodie Miller, and I am very fortunate to be part of the Hamilton Heroes, the best thermy team in Australia, New Zealand, and all over the world. So like Heather said, I am going to mix up a cocktail, something that I often do of a weekend. When you go out, you pay an absolute fortune for cocktails, and making them at home is so much easier and cheaper and really quick and easy. So I'm going to do a daiquiri. Now, the great thing about the recipe I'm using, it does say strawberry daiquiri, and it is a recipe of Recipe Community. I love guided cooking, but this is one recipe that I do use from Cookie Do, and I'm really excited about the Cookie Do 3.0 because, you know, some of these recipes you will be able to bring over, ensuring that they are your own recipes, which is great. Sorry, Heather, did you want to say something?
I think there's a bit of an echo. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so sometimes I use strawberries. Today I'm going to use mangoes. Now, this is a little bit of a hack, these mangoes, because they aren't from the fruit fresh per se. I brought them in the container. Now, this happened when I was camping and I needed some mangoes for my cocktails. Yes, I take my Thermomix camping. And so this is a really great way because sometimes I've gone to make the mango daiquiri and they're out of season. So yeah, it's $5 for a container, and you know, you don't have to, you know, cut them all up and it's all messy. So that's just a bit of a hack, and you can make cocktails when you're away camping, which is awesome. All right, so I will get started. So I'm just going to switch to the screen and find my scales. I did pre-weigh these, but I just want to show you how the scales work. So raw sugar, I'm just going to tip that in, so 100 grams. Now, if you didn't want to use all that sugar, that's okay. You can follow the recipe if you want to. Depending on which fruit you use, it's quite sweet anyway. So I'm just going upside down. Okay, so we're going to, speed's going to be 10 seconds on speed 10. So what we're actually doing now is milling the raw sugar into icing sugar. Now, when I first seen a Thermomix, this is what sold me. I just would find a way that you could use raw sugar and mill it down to icing sugar. So a cost saver, and it means that you only have to have raw sugar in your cup, which is pretty cool. And that really never gets old. The whole, I'm not sure if you've all seen that before, but I think that's really cool and it never gets old. All right, so that's the icing sugar. We're going to add some fruit. Like I said, I'm using the mango. Use strawberries. I don't know if you could use any other fruits. Has anyone else done any other daiquiris? These are the ones I stick to generally. Okay, so we're going to add that and we're going to blend it 10 seconds speed time. 10 seconds speed 5. All right, now I reckon this is the best bit, and sometimes I do get a bit heavy-handed, so I will use my measure just to make sure they're not overdone. Okay, so that's just blended all the fruit up, so it's a really nice consistency. So we're going to add, it does call for Malibu, but I'm just going to use the Cardi. It's completely up to you. So we want 60 grams of each. Like I said, I better weigh this in. I love that you can just use the scales, especially when you're doing a manual recipe. So there we go. 1, 2. 60 mils of this, some Contro. 1, 2. Awesome. All right. We're going to add the ice as well. Now, most of you probably would have seen these. These are called thermoservers. So these are fabulous. So they will keep things cold, and you can also put hot meals in them and they will stay warm for up to 2 hours. So just to show you, I popped that ice in probably at about 6:45, and we've been chatting and it's still quite cold. So, and your thermoserver is a host reward. So if you haven't had a demo, a cooking experience for a little while, reach out to your favourite consultant, and you know, you only need 2-3 friends to come along, cook a couple of dishes, and you can do that in person, or you can do it virtually like we're doing here this evening, which is great. So a couple of the girls around, have a wine, jump online, learn some new tips and tricks, and earn yourself a thermoserver. And they come in different shapes. There's an oval one, there's a round one, and then there's minis as well, which is really cool. All right, so we'll pop that lid on, and we're going to put it on for 1.5 minutes on speed 10. Sorry, upside down's really hard. Speed 10. Here we go. It will be noisy.
I might bring up Cookie too for that 1.5 minutes. Is that okay?
Oh, that would be awesome. Thanks, Heather.
Just to give you a bit of space. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know what's
I should have been ready with that.
Heather, can I go just have a quick say while you're getting it up? I don't know.
Yeah, no, go for it. If you've got.
I was just going to say about the cocktails, because I do strawberry daiquiris a lot, and when strawberries are not in season, just get the frozen strawberries and just put in less ice. So just substitute. So I put 300 grams of water, I think, with a 500-gram packet of frozen strawberries, and then just a few cubes of ice. And it's perfect.
Brilliant.
Okay, that's all.
Thanks, Jen. Have you done any other fruit or mostly strawberries?
No, I can't get past strawberry. I have done mango, but I actually really love strawberries. That's all we do.
Awesome. Thanks. Right. That's probably not 1.5 minutes, but let's go back to Jody. How much longer for you? We're back to you. Too quick? Done?
All right.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I thought you'd muted me. Sorry, girls. Okay, so here is your beautiful mango daiquiri. Yum-o. And the other thing I was thinking too, for those that are pregnant or aren't drinkers, or you're driving or whatever, you can actually make a mocktail. So you could just leave out the alcohol. But these are beautiful. Look at that consistency. Like, it's mixed through so beautifully. And I will be having one of those shortly. The other thing is the cost saver. Like, look how much it made. So you probably get about 8 of those glasses out of one batch. And it probably cost me around $7 a batch. So cost saver, quick, easy. You can do it in the comfort of your own home when you're entertaining. Have it for dessert. And you know, you normally have fruit in your house, which is really good. All right, Heather, did you want me to show the functions now, or did you want to hand over to one of the other girls?
No, if you've got a minute to do it, that'd be great, because it won't take long. Thanks.
Okay. Cool. All right. As you could see earlier, I was switching from screen to screen. Sorry, there's sugar all over that. These are all your functions, so your menu functions. So as you're probably aware, you don't always have to use your Thermomix to follow a recipe or cook a meal in it. You might just be weighing out these ingredients going to cook the meal. So you might want to use the scales. The scales are on there. The egg boiler, I use that all the time. So fill the bowl with some water, and you can pop your eggs straight in now with the 6 rather than having them in the simmering basket. So that's a really good one. Pop them on while you jump in the shower, come out, and they're ready to go. Blend. So, you know, some people have a NutriBullet that they like to blend, so that sort of replaces that, and you're also getting more space on your bench. But yeah, you just blend. If you know what ingredients you want in there, you throw them all into the bowl, and then you just press the blend function, and it will just blend it for you. So instead of having all these different appliances, it's included in your Thermomix, which is fantastic. You've got a warmer, so, you know, sometimes if you might freeze a meal, you know, and you want to thaw it out rather than nuking it in the microwave, you can let it defrost a little bit, and then you can pop it in there and it'll actually warm it up for you, which is really cool. You've got your dough function, turbo, so that will give it a bit of a clean, or I actually use that function for when I'm mincing my own meat. So that's a good one. Pre-clean, so that's really good, as it suggests. It will give it a bit of a pre-clean before you pop it in the dishwasher. Or if you're doing your sugar work, so with your TM6, you can do your sugar works, which is really cool. So your honeycomb, your caramels, and as you know, when you're sort of dealing with that sort of texture, you need to get it clean straight away so it doesn't stick to the bowl. Thicken, so if you want to make a gravy or something like that to put on a steak, you can use that. Rice cooker, fermentation, slow cook, sous vide, and peeler. So this is a new function on our Thermomix that has only come on in the last couple of days. There is a blade cover. What's it made out of, Heather? Anyway, it's a blade cover that's coming out. You can what was it? Sorry.
Stainless steel, but I'll get an image up in a sec.
Awesome. So it is very exciting. So it just sits on the top. Let's see if I've got one. It sits on the top of your. This isn't the stainless steel one, but that's sort of what it looks like. So you use it as a blade cover, but on the top of it, it actually has a peeler. So you can pop your potatoes in there, and it'll actually peel the potatoes, which is really cool. And a lot of people ask about that at demos. Does it peel your vegetables? So guess what? It does. So you can pre-order that on the Mix Shop. Again, reach out to your consultant and they'll be able to help you with that. You can pre-order, and I think they're $57.90, girls. Is that correct? So yeah, that is awesome. All those different functions that you can use. I think that's about it. Thank you so much.
Fabulous. Thank you, Jodes. All right, we are over to the lovely Meg.
Hello. Hi guys, how are you all on this beautiful afternoon? So I'm going to make 2 dips for you. They're super easy. I'm going to do the longer one first, which is around about, it takes about 27 seconds to make. It will be longer because we're going to be talking. So we'll get started. Now, I must admit, the reason I actually bought a Thermomix in the first place nearly 13 years ago was the fact that I went to my sister's place, and before her demo, she whipped up 3 dips before it even started, and I was gobsmacked at how quickly she could whip up some dips before a function. All right, so the first one we're going to do is the beetroot, parmesan and cashew dip, and that can be found also in that festive cookbook. So you can either get it from Cook I Do, or if you've actually got the cookbook, you can get it from there as well. All right, so we'll get started. Come on. All right, so we're going to put in our 80 grams of Parmesan cheese. Next, and 1 garlic clove. Getting ahead of myself. I'm so used to doing the Parmesan before anything. We're going to go for 10 seconds on speed 9. And we're going to hit the next one, and we're going to transfer. I'm going to put that back into that little bowl. I just love how easy that is. I did a demo on the weekend and they couldn't get over how fine that actually comes out. So there it is there. Get a little bit extra out. Next, okay, without cleaning your bowl this time, we're going to add 150 grams of roasted salted cashew nuts. I just love how it brings up the scales. You know, you don't have to have a separate set of scales. Going to mill that for 2 seconds on speed 7. Yeah, next. Okay, so this now asks for 450 canned baby beetroot. Now, I just actually got, they didn't have the canned baby beetroot, but I actually got the whole beetroot from the fruit section, fruit and veg section, and it's actually got no preservatives. It's 100%. So I thought that was even better. So just chop those up and it goes in. And 1 tablespoon of reserved beetroot syrup. We're going to now add our parmesan and garlic. Lid back on and blend that for 6 seconds on. Okay. So that was using that blending feature that Jodie was just talking about. We're now going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice and a pinch of salt and pepper. Next, and then we're just going to mix that together. On 3 seconds, speed 4. I just love how. Okay, that's it. That's done. One little note that I did get told was in the actual instructions in the little tips and hints at the bottom was that this is great if you put it into the fridge for the next day because the flavours actually develop a little bit more. So that's another cool little tip. But there's our dip there all ready to go. So I'll just put that aside and I'll grab the other stuff. All right, so we go next. It just tells you how to garnish as well. And then we're done for that recipe. So we'll go back to my week. That's where I've saved them in my weekly planner, which is also another feature of Cook I Do. So you can meal plan. Once you've got a meal plan together, then you can create a shopping list. And then you can actually send that off to Woolies. If you've got a Woolies account, you can all have that interacting together. All right, so this smoked onion dip. This is from an American one. I think it's, I can't remember the name of it now, Charlton, I think it was something like that. So it is in Imperial, but you can still follow it really easy. So we're going to just start cooking. Okay, so we're going to put my spare bowl on. This is brand new, I haven't used this yet. This is my little incentive last month. I'll re-tear that off. So we're going to put our 7 ounces of cream cheese. Sorry, 8 ounces. I can read a bit better. And we're going to put 8 ounces of sour cream. Next, 1 ounce of nutritional yeast. Now you can actually find that in Woolworths, and that is in the health food section. They come in those little bags. Actually, I've got one here. It's the macro one, so you can use that, find that in the health food section. Our smoked paprika, onion powder, 2 tablespoons. Oh, I forgot the Tabasco. Okay, hang on, Tick. Can't find it. Okay, I'm going to skip that. And then we've got our garlic powder. And then we're going to add our salt. So a teaspoon of salt. And I think the next one is the white pepper. So I'll just add that. Tabasco is too hot for me anyway, so I wouldn't eat it. So I'm leaving that out. All right, put our lid on. Next, for 20 seconds on speed 4. And we're going to blend that together.
Meg, if you can you hear me? I noticed you've got your mini vac there behind. Do you want to mention the host offer, please?
Right, so this is the U-Butte little mini vac. Excuse me. I love it because the actual head of it is great for, I don't know if anyone's like me, but I spill flour everywhere. And it actually gets into the bottom of the bowl sometimes. I don't know how I do it, but it actually fits the bottom of your bowl really well. And I just love it. And this is part of your host reward. So if you have a demonstration, you can get it, I think, is it for $49, Heather?
If one of your guests purchases for $49, otherwise $149, which is half price, or $150.
That's right. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I use it all the time, especially in the windowsills. Yeah, anything on the bench that crumbs or anything like that, it is really, really useful. So and I keep it on the bench top, and it's not very loud either. So that's another U-Butte little incentive for hosting a demonstration. So either have a sale or just by hosting a demo. And yeah, so there it's U-Butte.
Oh, they're brilliant. And you may not realise that like the people who make Thermomix have been making vacuums for longer than they've been making Thermomixes for, and they've been.
Yeah, I did a post the other day. I actually looked at the company. I think it was 1886. They made carpets, and then they wanted to make a really a good vacuum because for their carpets, and they used the old megaphone mechanism out of that to create the very first vacuum. So I thought that was pretty unique. And so they've developed along the way, and it was basically the Thermomix was the last thing that they invented in the 70s. Sorry, it's late 60s. So and look at where we are now. All right, so we've done that, and we're now actually done our second recipe. So that's our second dip. And I said, yeah, it would be longer because of how we were talking, but how beautiful. You should smell this. This smells amazing. So I'll be eating this later, sorry. But yeah, so I'll come back later and I'll dish it up and we can all have a look at how it actually looks all done.
Awesome. Thank you, Meg. And I will pass to Kerry now. While we're doing that host reward that Meg mentioned, your events can be in person, like you're probably thinking of, with a regular cooking experience, or they can be over Zoom. So remember, if you don't want to go out, and you can always catch up this way. Sorry, I'll shush now. Over to you, Kerry.
Okay, well, you can't see my face, lucky everyone, because you should be able to just see my amazing dip. Well, I would call it. It sort of is brie. Can you see that really close?
It looks amazing.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat this. Okay, so what I am going to show you though, so if you do want those nuts a bit finer, you could have blended a bit more. But what you might see is some of the tomatoes are sort of like, breaking open in the skin when you're steaming them. So they're beautiful. And this isn't even all the tomatoes. So I've put some aside, so you can put them all on if you've got a bigger dish. Anyway, look, it makes so much pesto, but what I'm going to do is, if my son just, can you back out for a minute, please? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. So let's hope. I'll move this a bit closer. Let's hope. It feels like it's quite squishy. So let's see how this goes. If I just cut this, hopefully it will just. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. See all that?
Yeah, yum.
And then, so what you'll do is obviously you can get a bit of the pesto, a bit of your camembert, brie camembert, and your tomato on the top. And that is an amazing dish to have for entertaining. And you saw how quick and easy it was. Now I'll show you me again. Sorry. Now what I will tell you is what I found is it was sitting in the cheese was sitting in the Verona dish with the liner, and it was quite squishy sort of thing. I'm like, oh, how am I going to get this out without busting? So obviously you can get some sort of server, but this currently is one of my favorite items in a mix shop. When I first got it, I'm like, why did I even order it? What am I going to use it for? I use it all the time, just for like things like that. Pikelets, pancakes, omelets. I'm pretty stoked about this little thing. Isn't it funny? As we get older, we get excited about kitchen tools. Okay, so anyway, so that is my beautiful dip, which I'm going to eat. Now, I'll just mention something quickly. I don't usually count calories or anything like that, but I've been on a bit of a cleanse this week, and what I have been using a bit, what I've been using a bit is, if you haven't seen before, in all your cookie dough recipes, every recipe will have all the different calories, sugars, all that sort of thing. So I never thought I would use it, but this I've actually been using it, and I've been finding it's really, really good. And especially when it says that I can actually eat that whole plate of cheese by myself. So I'm pretty impressed with that. So anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I finish that. So the beauty of having a second bowl, so obviously that's a bit dirty, so I'm going to pop that away over here, and I'm going to go straight on using my second bowl, and I'm going to make a cocktail as well. So the second one I'm going to, yes, mate, you can have that. Sorry. So I'm going to make tonight is a tropical mimosa. I'll push this back a bit. Okay, so I have done this before and it was absolutely beautiful. What I am going to do tonight is I'm actually going to just halve the cocktail because there's only myself here. I'm sure my 5-year-old would love to have some, but I don't think that's good parenting. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this. Let me just grab my pineapple.
I feel like we should have all been in the same house tonight to eat all this food.
Oh, I know. I don't know about my cleanse with the alcohol, but that's all right. It's only a little bit. So fresh pineapple. Obviously, if you can't get some fresh pineapple, just use some frozen, but the fresh pineapple at the moment is beautiful. It's lovely and sweet. So as you know, I'm just going to do half of this. So I'll pop that in. I'm going to pop that into the mixing bowl. Now, what you'll see is, you actually probably can't see the screen very well because of the lighting at night time, but this has got the TM6 blend mode. So that Jodie was talking about before. So I'm just going to turn it. It's going to more or less do it itself. It's going to bring it up to its own speed and blend. Now, even though this is a TM6 recipe, obviously you can just do it manually and use your 5 or your 31. And just obviously you'd just be turning it up, right up and blitzing it. So that's what I'm going to do. And that will just blend that itself. Come on, mate. Okay, so we're just going to put that off. I just love when you can do things in the Thermomix and just walk away. Okay, so we've blended, blitzed all that. So then it's asking me for some ice cubes. As I said, I'm only doing half. So I'm going to pop in my ice cubes.
Can I see the ice cubes?
Oh, they're gone in there, mate, already.
Yes.
Yes.
For your next blend, we might cut over to Jen or Meg to show us their stuff, and then we'll come back to you. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if either are ready. Who's ready?
Just go to Meg for a sec.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Over to you.
Hey, I'm all done. So I've done enough for 2 big containers. Sorry, 2 bowls. So how pretty do those look? But you can actually get this. I bought this the other day on the mix shop. How cute is that? So we've got the beetroot dip here, and then we've got the onion dip there, and then you can have another dip here if you wanted to. And the amount of time that it took me to do those two, you can have that as well. So this is this is available on the mix shop as well. So you can have it with your little mix wine as well. And I must admit, I found this as a great Christmas idea this year. So when you're having your friends over for cocktails and nibblies, one of these are little battery operated, and it's like a little fan, and it actually stops the flies from touching your food. So they're available. I bought them as Christmas presents this year because all my family love to entertain. But how gorgeous does that look?
Fabulous. And the quantities of those dips, like they.
I know, considering, you've got your, look how much you've got, like
Amazing.
And that tastes great after a couple of days. So that can last, you can have 2 parties in 2 days. Why not?
Love it. Thanks, Meg. All right, Kerry, is your cocktail ready for, hang on, I've lost you.
For the next bit.
I can't lose Kerry.
Yes. So the next bit is Malibu. Yum. I love Malibu. It is delicious. So when I found this recipe a little while ago, I'm like, I'm definitely going to give this a go. So again, as Jodie said when she was making her daiquiri, if you don't have Malibu, you can use your white rum, your vodka. So it says 115, where I'm just going to do half. Maybe I'll just put in the whole lot. No, that's all right. I better not. Okay, next. What I thought was funny today, I went to buy a Malibu twice and no shops had this. So it was a bit of everyone must be buying Malibu. So I have to buy a bit of a cheaper version. So, but anyway, it's just for cocktails, but I have used Malibu in this one. Again, we're going to use our blending function for 10 seconds. Okay. And we're going to divide that mixture. It says between 6 champagne flutes. Excuse me, hold on. Oh, I was expecting it to pop and it's, oh, anyway, that took the excitement out of it. But, so we're going to divide that. And I'm just going to divide this between ones. Yes, hold on a minute. Hold on, please. Oh, sorry. So I'm just going to, you're going to pop this in here. So it will make a lot actually. And then you're going to top that with, it says Prosecco or white sparkling or champagne. Hold on a minute. Sorry. Hold on, mate, please. Oh, this is always fun. Excuse me. Sorry. So I love Prosecco. So I just got a little one for me. So I'm just going to top that with that. Now it will go a bit, you'll see it's like lots of, whoa. But what you'll notice is it's starting to, this is starting to sink or whatever you want to say that, but what's going to happen is the yellow of the pineapple mixture is going to come up and you can probably start to see it a little bit where it will go up, and then you can sort of top it up a little bit if you want, but you let that settle. And it says to top it with cherries, but I'm not a cherry fan, so I would just leave it like this, or you could pop in some strawberries. So this is, yeah, so it's really nice, really refreshing. And what my other cocktail that I would say too, if you've got your Malibu and you've got pineapple, do a pina colada. There's a pina colada recipe on the Cookie Do. because you've got your pineapple, you've got your Malibu, and that's just got some coconut cream in it, coconut milk in it. So that's another delicious one. And also the minted Moscow Mule is one of my favorite as well, which has got some vodka and ginger beer, and it makes quite a lot. It makes for about 10. It's got some fresh mint, things like that. So anyway, so that is my cocktail. So I'm going to enjoy that tonight, except for I've got
Enjoy it, Kez. It looks amazing.
probably need it after this.
Okay.
Now, if you don't know currently, there's 2 bowls. If you don't know how valuable that second bowl is, you just probably saw how I quickly used it. Or for me, I often will be doing a recipe and it'll be like, okay, pop in your, icing sugar. I'm like, oh, no icing sugar. So I'll use my other bowl and I'll pop in raw sugar, pop it onto speed 10 for 10 seconds. I've got my icing sugar, and then I can swap my bowl back. That's if I'm like halfway in between. And I do that a lot. So now the offer at the moment, if you're not sure, if you're looking at maybe upgrading, or you know someone that is interested in purchasing, you can hop on a Zoom or something like that and get your host reward. So at the moment, with every purchase of your Thermomix, you can add that extra bowl for only, wait for it, $29. Now this is a bowl that is worth $375. Is it, Heather? $365, $375?
75.
And look, as a consultant, and I'm sure of like 7 years, and I'm sure all the other ladies will tell you that I've never ever seen a deal this good, and you've definitely never ever seen a bowl that cheap. So it's definitely, if you're thinking about it, great time to jump on, or if you've got friends, definitely spread the word, touch base with your consultant. Yeah, it's a fantastic offer at the moment. It is only till the 2nd of December, but I don't think that the numbers are going to last that long. But anyway, so that's for me. So I'm going to enjoy my. I'm going to enjoy my.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll pass back to Jen. And
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So here's my sausage rolls and my chicken hors d'oeuvres. So beautifully cooked. I probably would have made the chicken balls just a little bit smaller, I've realised, for next time. I haven't made that recipe before, I have to tell you, but that's how easy it is, and pretty foolproof. So I've already put both my bowls in the dishwasher, cleaned my kitchen up in that time, cooked 2 batches, and I'm just about to hit the road and go to Sydney. So I'll take these with me and they'll enjoy it tonight. Thanks everyone for joining the class. I'll hand back to Heather.
thanks, Jen. No. I realise we're just about to go over time. I wondered if anyone did want to stay on, and I can show you what's happening with the upgrade to Cookie Do. If anyone's interested, I'll show that. If you need to go, I totally understand. The only other thing we hadn't mentioned that's on offer for our customers at the moment is 36 months interest free. So if you know of anyone who's keen to take up that PM6 plus a bowl offer, it works out at $17.02 a week on 36 months. We also have Afterpay and other payment options, whatever, we've got lots now to suit. But yeah, if you're interested in staying on, I will end the recording if I can work out how to do that. Thank you.